In the days that followed Alex Preddy's killing, President Trump and administration officials declared it was wrong to have a gun at a protest. And saying that has driven a wedge between the administration and gun rights advocates. Joining us, former Montana Senator and MS Now political analyst Jon Tester and chairman of the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, Brian Strawser. Brian, I'll begin with you. The president has not backed away from this assertion that you should not bring a gun to a protest.
Yeah, I mean, he's stated, as well as the FBI director, that folks should not bring firearms to protests. It's perfectly legal here in Minnesota to do so. Certainly, folks have to make their own risk assessment about whether or not, that's a wise thing to do, whether or not they feel safe doing so. But we just had a protest march last Friday in Minneapolis with nearly 50,000 people. And I'm sure folks were carrying firearms there, and we didn't have any violent incidents occur.
What is this assertion, this declaration from the administration and officials that you can't do it or you shouldn't do it, or somehow that makes you, makes it justified to shoot you? What has that done to gun rights advocates in Minnesota?
I think it certainly raised some skepticism from gun rights activists and, our members and supporters here in Minnesota. This has been a very pro-Second Amendment administration. Even this morning, the Department of Justice under Pam Bondi worked in yet another pro-Second Amendment case, filing on the side of, gun rights activists and organizations in favor of the Second Amendment. I think these statements from the president and from Director Patel and others are a little bit of an aberration from that we just want to make sure isn't signaling a new direction for the administration.
This is a really interesting topic, Senator, because it was only a few years ago that there was an uproar about Kyle Rittenhouse bringing a semi-automatic to a protest and shooting people with it. And at that point, it was Democrats saying, don't bring a gun to a protest. And it was Republicans saying, this is your right to bring a gun to a protest. This is a Second Amendment issue. So I guess help me understand how we're kind of living in an alternate universe right now on this.
Well, like on a lot of issues, we need to get the folks to read the Constitution. The Second Amendment is clear. We have the right to keep and bear arms. And it isn't but if this happens or but if that happens. This guy had a right to have a gun on him. He had a conceal and carry permit. He did not brandish that weapon. That's a different situation then. But he has every right under our Constitution to take a gun to this rally. And if the president doesn't like it, if the head of the FBI doesn't like it, if the head of DHS doesn't like it, well, too bad. It's pretty clear in the Constitution what the rights are. And they ought to read the Constitution and then come back and address the issue.
So I guess, Brian, the critical read of this, the skeptical read of this, is that Donald Trump thinks it's fine if you're bringing a gun to protest, and the administration thinks this, to protest Democrats or Democratic policies or people who are not supportive of him. But it's not okay to bring a gun to a protest if that protester is protesting Donald Trump or Donald Trump's own policies.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not a mind reader as to what the president is thinking, but it's clear that our constitutional rights in the Second Amendment, just like the First, the Fourth, and others, is that they apply to all folks here in the United States, not just those that are aligned with the political party that's in power. Our rights are made for every American.
I won't pretend to admit, or I won't pretend that it wouldn't make me uncomfortable seeing a gun at a protest. That's my personal opinion. But I wonder, has this declaration from this administration, Jon, has it done anything to make Second Amendment advocates question Donald Trump and their support of him?
It should. I mean, as I said earlier, Katie, I mean, I think in any of these situations, the Constitution doesn't have exceptions. It's across the board. And when it comes to keep and bear arms, it's straight up right there in front of our face. This guy had a permit to carry a gun. He went to the rally or the protest, whatever you want to call it. He did not threaten anybody with it. He didn't pull it out of the holster and aim it at anybody. But yet, just the fact that he had a gun caused the ICE agents to shoot him and kill him. I think that's a direct conflict with our Constitution, and it's there's no doubt about it. And the fact is, for the administration, for the president, for anybody in the administration to stand up and say, "Well, this guy died because he brought a gun to a rally," is absolutely, absolutely wrong on any level you want to take it to. I don't care if you're for gun rights or against gun rights. Read the Constitution. The Constitution is clear. And it does not say that we have the right to keep and bear arms except for this or except for that. It's across the board. And so I think the president is wrong. And I will tell you, as a proud gun owner myself, I think that this kind of language bothers me a lot, because I believe in having a gun for the right to protect myself and take care of vermin, in my case, if I want to go shoot gophers or whatever it might be. And if I've got somebody in the head of an agency or the head of this country saying that we don't have gun rights anymore, that's a problem.